Good evening, Vandal family. I want to thank you all for gathering as a community tonight, and I also want to welcome everyone watching from home who is spending this time with close friends and family. Our folks to gather into the field, and we have the whole space open tonight, so I encourage you all to come together. My name is Tanner McLean, President of the Associated Students, University of Idaho. November 13th, 2022 is a day we will never forget. Now, I ask each of you to take a moment to reflect upon where you were on that day. A year ago today, I hold a distinct memory of folding laundry in my room. It was a typical Sunday morning in Moscow, Idaho. When the Vandal alert first came across my phone, I was in disbelief. I refused to believe this news, as something this tragic could not happen in our home here in Moscow. As the day continued, more information was revealed. For that entire day, our student body experienced a range of emotions that cannot be quantified. Shock, anger, and sadness were all felt among our students that day. No words will ever be profound enough to move on from our community experience last year. But this vigil will demonstrate the love our student body has for these four amazing individuals. We have asked those who cannot attend this vigil tonight to light up their porches from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in remembrance of Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie, lighting up the world as these four Vandals did for their friends and family. I also want to acknowledge that there is currently a vigil ongoing at the University of Idaho, Boise Law School. No matter where you find yourself tonight, the Vandal family is here. And on this day, across all of Idaho, we are all Vandals. Support and help is available. Anyone needing assistance can go to the handrails located to my left near the front, and there will be university staff available to assist and provide support during and after the vigil. There is also ongoing help and support available to you as students through the Counseling and Mental Health Center and via the Dean of Students Office Vandal Care Support Program. Reach out if you are struggling or know of someone who is. Help is available. There will be 4 speakers tonight. We will share the happy memories of Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. After each speaker, there will be a moment of silence to reflect on the good these 4 individuals brought into the world. Candles are available at various tables around the admin lawn. There is a limited supply, and if you find you don't have a candle, that is okay. You can use your phone light to participate. At this time, we'll begin lighting candles. Please be courteous to those around you and share your candle light with others. Now, I want to welcome to the stage Heather Blaschka, who will be speaking on behalf of Maddie Mogen tonight.
Hi, I'm Heather Blaschka. My friend is Audrey Haas. It's hard to believe that a year ago today, all of our lives were changed. First off, I want to thank you all for being here. I know that these 4 meant so much to so many people, and seeing all the lives that they touched brings me as much joy as it does sadness. When reaching out to friends, there were many kind words that were used to describe Maddie, the most common being kind, loving, genuine, driven, stunning, outgoing. This list can go on forever, but most of all, bright. Maddie was a bright person. She had a bright smile. She had a bright future. Maddie was bright. She was bright in every way that a person could be. Maddie was the kind of person that made sure everyone felt welcomed and cared for. It was nearly impossible to not be smiling when you were around her. She made every person that she interacted with feel loved. A memory of her from a friend was the first time I met Maddie. She pulled me aside and asked if I wanted to go do something together the next day. From another friend. All the memories I have of Maddie consist of everything good. She always had a smile on her face. She truly made any room she walked into a brighter place. No matter where I saw Maddie, she would always go out of her way to come and say hi to me and always put a smile on my face. Maddie's kindness and gentle heart are missed so deeply. Many of us shared this experience of how generous and inviting she was. Maddie was one of the first Pi-Phis I ever met. She was so welcoming, and I knew that if there were people like her there, Pi-Phi was a great place to be. She was always a shoulder to cry on, a friend to laugh with, and most of all, a compassionate friend. Maddie cared for her friends in such a deep and wonderful way. To be a friend the way that Maddie is to be sincere and endlessly loving. The love that many of us receive from her left a feeling behind that can never fade. I will never forget that day. Before I knew, I had spent the morning getting coffee and laughing with my friends. I know that given the chance, Maddie would have been doing the same exact thing. That experience is such a small moment that many of us share but often do not think about. But that morning, I learned how important those small and seemingly insignificant moments can be. I had no idea how drastically different the next hours, days, and weeks of our lives were going to be. I came home and almost immediately knew that something was wrong. One of the hardest things in the world is seeing the people that you cherish in that kind of pain, carrying that much grief. As we've come to the 1-year mark, I have seen the people that I cherish grieve, but I've also seen them joyous. I have seen them grow and evolve into stronger and more resilient people. While we will never forget Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee, it is a moment of shared love for each of them that we will find a little more brightness in each other. Walking through Pi-Phi today shows the genuine love and light that Maddie brought into so many people's lives. I have a new appreciation for the love, compassion, and drive in each of my friends. Admiring those amazing qualities that Maddie embodies herself is how Pi-Phi carries on her legacy. This love is something that Maddie would be proud to see, and I know that if she was here, she would be the center of such joy. Seeing how our community has changed forever has been sad at times, but it has also shown the resilience and love that Maddie embodied every day. One of the things that I admire so much about the way that Maddie chose to live her life is that she never gave up. The world is a much duller place without Maddie in it. Her bright smile and contagious laugh brought joy that cannot be replicated. The light that Maddie brought to this world can never be replaced, but if each of us tries to be a little kinder, a little more welcoming, and a little more genuine, like Maddie, I know our community and our world will be a better, brighter place. We will now have a moment of silence in honor of Maddie Mogen.
Thank you for those warm words. At this time, I want to introduce Maddie Whitney, who will speak on behalf of Kaylee Goncalves.
Hello everyone. My name is Madison Whitney and I am the chapter president of Alpha Phi. With me is my sorority sister Molly Gray, Tonight, I am speaking on behalf of my chapter to share memories and stories about our dear sister, Kaylee Goncalves. When I first met Kaylee, I was an incoming freshman who just ran home on bid day. I got to know Kaylee through her position as Big Little Chair. Getting a bigger little sister is one of the most exciting parts of Greek life. Today, I'm going to read a letter by somebody who couldn't be here today, Kaylee's little sister in Alpha Phi, Jaden Anderson. Today, we are gathered a year after an event that shook many of our lives. No words could make this day any less hard. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan still live on in stories and memories shared, and they will always be guiding those who love them. This is why it is so important that I tell you who Kaylee was and still is to me, and that you understand the tremendous absence of her presence as well as Ethan's, Xana's, and Maddie's. Kaylee Goncalves had a contagious laugh. I mean, you could hear it in the other room. It was so unapologetically her. I miss this laugh every day. She laughed often, at herself and with others. Kaylee was beautiful inside and out. When we lived in Alpha Phi together, she could often be found getting ready, sitting on the floor with her makeup sprawled and her face so close to the damn mirror. She loved getting ready to go and hang out with her people. It didn't matter what we were going to do. All that mattered was the people she was going to do it with. She always put others first and always prioritized her friends and her family. Kaylee was special. A memory I cherish with her is a sleepover we had. I remember us tucked in and laughing at the movie we just put on with no care in the world. This is how I remember her. Giggly, beautiful, kind and funny, so naturally herself. I loved being in her presence, and it is one that I will miss for the rest of my life. Kaylee gave me this book my freshman year called The Sun and Her Flowers. In the book lies a page that states, despite knowing they won't be here for long, they still choose to live their brightest lives. Sunflowers. Kaylee's favorite flower was sunflowers. I think about this quote every day, and it almost feels like her future self was trying to tell me something, or that this was fate bringing this to me now. This book is all about grief, and it just makes me think that I know she's watching out for me, even if she's not here. I asked some of Kaylee's friends to send me some memories about her, and I would love to share them because they are all so true of Kaylee. A member of PC-19 says, Kaylee was a one-of-a-kind person. There are not enough kind words in the world to help show someone who didn't know her what kind of a person she was, but anyone who knew her did. The following are more quotes from members of PC-19 and people Kaylee was close with. I'm incredibly grateful for Kaylee's spontaneity and desire to always take pictures of everything. I cherish those pictures we took now more than anything. Another says, there is no one quite like Kaylee Jade. You were always somebody who everyone needed to get by, and that's what made you so special. I love you so much, more than words can explain. I miss your beautiful soul on earth so much. But I know the universe had bigger and better plans for you and Maddie, which is why you two weren't able to stay down here with us any longer. I know you two are having the best time up there together. One quote that I feel really sums up her friends' love towards her and Kaylee's love towards them. I can only think of how lucky I was to know her, to love her, and to be able to call her a dear friend. The amount of people that shared the same things about Kaylee shows the person she was. True, loyal, and dedicated beyond words can explain. This is how we will always remember her. If it is not evident, Kaylee loved big. I am reminded every day to live like Kaylee would. Be more spontaneous, stop and take pictures, be loud, laugh loud, and love hard. May we all work hard to be more like Kaylee, kinder, loving, brighter, and more compassionate individuals. Not a day goes by where Kaylee's absence is any less loud than today. We miss you and we love you so much. On behalf of the women of Alpha Phi, I would like to thank our friends, family, community, and university staff for the love and support that we have received this past year. We will now have 1 minute of silence to honor Kaylee Goncalves.
Thank you, Maddie. At this time, I want to introduce Xana Miller, who will speak on behalf of Xana Kernodle.
Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Xana Miller. Beside me, Elise von Bargen, my close friend. And I will be speaking in remembrance of a woman whose name I share, Xana Kernodle. A lot of people say you don't know what you have until it's gone. However, Xana Kernodle does not fit into that category. Pi Beta Phi was blessed to have Xana's presence, blessed to have known her, and to call her a sister. She made an impact on our organization that will never be forgotten. She meant so much to everyone around her. She was a crucial member of the team. A light in the darkness, a smile when you needed one, a ball of energy. She was full of life, and she lived her life to the fullest. A lot of people saw her as the life of the party. Everyone strived to be a little more like Xana. A little more vibrant, adventurous, kind, outgoing, empathetic, positive, charming, bright, and warm-hearted. This is just the beginning of a list that could go on forever. When I asked my chapter what words would be best to describe her, one of Xana's close friends said, "You couldn't describe her because she was everything and more." She was one of a kind. She was entirely herself all the time. A beautiful aura followed her everywhere she went. There was always a smile on her face. She was a very contagious person. Xana was one of those people that you could not possibly be sad around. She made friends feel unapologetic for being themselves. No one ever had anything negative to say about Xana, and that is something that I admire. Nothing could possibly measure how valuable she was. Xana not only was a very unique person, but Xana is a very unique name. I love my name, but I didn't always used to. I used to feel weird and singled out because it wasn't a normal name. Funny that I didn't like that no one else had it. It's something special to me, and I wish it didn't take me that long to figure it out. I used to think there was no one else in the world named Xana, until I met her. And what an awesome person to share a name with. I love my name. I have for a while now, being grown up and being able to appreciate the uniqueness of it. This feels weird to say, but now I am almost more proud to have the name that I do. Nicknames are a special thing, and Xana had multiple. The favorites, however, seem to be Xan and Princess Xana, quite the princess she was. One of the nicknames that the girls at Pi Phi like to call me is Xan. I know that was passed down to me from her, and I wouldn't want to be called anything else. I have always enjoyed that nickname. Something about it just makes me feel loved and cared for. Evil becomes much more real when it happens so close to home. I always used to tell my mom that she's overreacting, or that I would be just fine alone, or that she really did not need me to stand by her grocery cart as to not leave her purse unattended. I used to say things like, "Mom, it's Meridian, Idaho. What do you think could possibly happen to me?" I'm sure that is what everyone thought growing up here in Moscow, too. And then comes November 13th. This date marks the day that Moscow, Idaho changed forever, and the people along with it. I still remember waking up that Sunday. My phone was blowing up. I had 27 missed calls from multiple people, and messages primarily consisting of, "I'm sorry, Xana. Wake up, Xana. Please text me as soon as you see this." I remember being very scared and incredibly confused. I walked downstairs to find a majority of my upperclassmen in tears on the living room floor. There were many hours between when we all woke up that day to when Dean Eccles came to our house that night and announced the news. I know I had many conversations and long, warm hugs. I know I used at least a whole box of tissues, and I vividly remember the FaceTime call to my parents later that night, after Dean Eccles had told us. That Sunday was one of the longest, yet shortest days of my life, and somehow, I don't remember a lot of it. There are some things that I will never forget, and other things that got wrapped up in the blur of my brain fog. How does someone process something like that? How do you know what to do or how to feel? The aftermath of Thanksgiving break, when we all came back to campus, was a roller coaster of emotions. The house became very quiet. Suddenly, the halls and bathrooms were not buzzing with music and makeup anymore. Campus in Greek Row became somewhat of a ghost town. The weather seemed a bit grayer than usual. It was dark, and it was scary, and rightfully so. But somewhere through all of that sadness and hopelessness, a seed was planted in Pi Phi, a seed of love and comfort, sprouting into a sisterhood that I would have never imagined would mean so much to me. Growing into a family that I hold very dearly to my heart. Experiencing this as a freshman with my member class was a very difficult first year of college. Enduring the hard times and cherishing the good, we built a very strong bond. The amount of support and tenderness our chapter received in and outside of our community was one of the most incredible things to be a part of, but also be able to witness. This love spread beyond just Pi Phi. Campus also grew into a tighter-knit community. Greek life reached a whole new level of appreciation and respect, almost as if we valued each other so much more. We realized how important each person is in our small world of Moscow, Idaho. How much of an impact one person can have on thousands of people. Slowly, Pi Phi started to heal, and so did campus. The streets got busier, the classes got fuller, and the smiles came back, as did the music and the makeup in the bathroom. We were able to admire all of Xana and Maddie's traits without it being an emotional trigger. We were able to laugh and talk about all the good memories. We were able to look at old pictures and listen to old videos without crying. We were able to appreciate and miss them. The impact Xana had on Pi Phi in the 2 years that she was a member will last us a lifetime. I am incredibly thankful to have known a person like Xana. Her memory lives in the walls of Pi Beta Phi, but her love lives in this community. And I'll take a 1-minute moment of silence for Xana.
Thank you, Xana. Please welcome to the stage our final speaker tonight, DJ Myers, who speak on behalf of Ethan Chapin.
"365 days since my life changed forever. All of our lives changed forever. I'll never forget meeting Ethan Chapin on bid day. It It didn't take long to realize that our friendship was going to be a for-life kind of thing. Although to say friendship feels like an understatement because Ethan was family. Bid day is weird because it's the time where everyone is a little awkward and nervous about moving into a completely new house with completely new people, but you wouldn't be able to tell there was an ounce of hesitation with Ethan. He was so outgoing. I remember him coming up and introducing himself to me right away, and it only took about 30 seconds before he had me laughing hysterically, followed by more and more laughing and joking together the rest of the night. Our whole pledge class had so much fun that first night. Not a care in the world, it just built up with so much excitement for what was to come ahead. I think about that first day in Sigma Chi with Ethan almost every day. And that's just who E was. The life of the party. Always optimistic, always looking for excitement. The type of person to pick you up when you're down, to keep you at a high when you're up. There's not many people I've met in my life that I can wholeheartedly say exemplify the true meaning of what it means to be happy, to love life and those around you. His generosity and compassion for not only his friends and family, but also anyone he came in contact with was nothing short of special. He so effortlessly put anyone and everyone around him in a good mood. These traits are something I strive to obtain every single day. Ethan was a yes man, and so was I, which at times definitely got us in trouble, especially our first semester. I think anyone who met us probably thought of us as the dumb, irresponsible freshmen, which is true, but hey, we all need those kinds of people in our lives, right? Whether it was playing video games, watching a movie, shooting out in our basketball court, going to get food, regardless, there was a period of time where we were basically inseparable. This gave me the opportunity to see him grow out of that freshman mentality and become more and more driven, aware, responsible. I know for a fact Ethan would have gone on to do great things had been given the chance. Then fast forward a few months, he started dating Xana Kernodle, who also happened to be a very close friend of mine. And the only thing I miss more than seeing E every day is seeing those two together every day. E and Xana are soulmates. They complemented each other's personalities as perfectly as I've ever seen within a couple. And it's a really bittersweet feeling because although they were taken from us way too early, at least I know they're up there together forever. Their energy was unmatched. Both were always just the two brightest lights in the room. The previous speaker, Xana Miller, did a wonderful job describing just who Xana was in her speech, and I wanted to add in a little piece of my own on behalf of Xana. I could go on and on about the person Xana was, how infectious her laugh and smile was, how she was always there for you in time of need, how welcoming and compassionate she was towards people, even people she may have just met that night. But the little memories are what replay in my head over and over. Her backflips she would attempt, which usually resulted in her failing and popping right back up, laughing, yelling, "I'm okay." All the times we played Just Dance against each other, and I would double her score since she always decided she would just start doing her own dances instead of what the game was telling us to do. But most importantly, I miss all the hugs she gave me. Every time I first got to a function, and every time I left. Every time. I wish I could just give them both one more big hug. As I sit back and think of all the memories, I've learned dwelling won't do anything. It's important to remember all the good times and be grateful for the relationships we were all able to form with Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee, even if it was for a short amount of time. To know Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee was to love Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee. The adversity this university has had to go through over the past year, the strength it's taken to persevere, the support from every person on this campus is what makes U of I so special. The importance of the Vandal family is something that can't be put into words. And there's absolutely no other family I'd rather be a part of. The last thing I remember with Ethan is him and I alone in my room, and he expressed how excited he was to move back into the house in a little over a month. He told me how much he'd missed living with us boys, We started talking about all the fun things we were going to do once that happened. Although he was unable to get that opportunity, I feel and always will feel like he's still here with me. I read somewhere that once you lose someone you love, you gain an angel. We have 4 amazing angels watching over all of us every day. My life will never be the same without you in it, E. But I try every day to live life like you did. I love and miss you, and so does everyone who is lucky enough to know you. We will now take a moment of silence to honor Ethan Chapin.
Thank you, DJ. As we come to a close tonight, I want to express the student body's appreciation towards all of our speakers. Speaking tonight was no easy task, as the emotions from last year's tragedy are still felt among all of us. Thank you for sharing the memories of those we lost. Your words have been felt among all of us tonight as our Vandal family carries on in remembrance. I'm a firm believer that in the darkest of times, there is always a light. The light always perseveres through the darkness, and in this past year, that light has been the Vandal family and those who have supported us. So, I would like to take this time to publicly thank, on behalf of the student body, those who brought the light to our community this past year. I would like to thank the staff and faculty of the university for providing care and support to students. We're also grateful to President Scott Green and Dean of Students Blaine Eccles. Their warm hearts were the quality of leaders our student body needed throughout this past year. Allow me to express appreciation to Governor Little, who's been committed to providing all possible resources to bringing justice, helping bring peace of mind to the entire Moscow community. I would also like to thank the Moscow Police Department and the Idaho State Police for their professionalism, courage, and dedication. These agencies have earned the respect of our entire student body. Last year, as student body president, I received countless letters of support from the students of secondary institutions across our nation. Though I did not have time to list every college and university, I want to highlight the sympathies displayed by the students of Boise State University, Idaho State University, Lewis Clark State College, North Idaho College, the College of Idaho, the colleges of Southern Idaho, Western Idaho, and Eastern Idaho, and Washington State University. Vandal alumni everywhere have been supportive of our students as they provided great support for scholarships in the names of Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee. Alumni were also dedicated to providing she-birdie alarms for students across campus. I would also like to thank the students of the University of Idaho for being there for supporting one another during a very difficult time. In the past year, I have personally witnessed our student body coming together as we continue to heal. 3 students in particular I want to thank are Heather Blaschka, Gus Elwell, and Maddie Whitney, who displayed tremendous leadership in planning tonight's vigil. Lastly, I want to thank the families of the victims for the grace and poise with which they have navigated this tragic situation and support they have expressed for the students of the university. As a message to them specifically, the students of the University of Idaho continue to stand with you in your grief and sorrow. As you leave here tonight, you may return your candles back to the tables where you picked them up. You may also keep them as a remembrance of this gathering and light up each year in memory of our lost Vandals. I also want to remind everyone again that there is support, and students just need to come to one of the locations tonight or visit the Counseling and Mental Health Center or Dean of Students office moving forward for assistance. Currently, the university is trying to establish a Vandal Healing Garden and Memorial, where donations are still being accepted to help create a lasting memorial to these 4 individuals, in addition to creating a healing space where all Vandals who are lost or enrolled can be remembered by their friends and family. Community is the antidote to emotional trauma. Community is healing. Community is how we carry on together. Tonight is a testament to the strength of the Vandal family. As you leave here tonight, I urge all of you to spend time with those you love. Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie were all social butterflies, as they had an impact on countless individuals. They were Vandals through and through, all sharing their lives with those around them. I hold faith that they will leave a lasting legacy among all of us. A year ago today, we experienced a senseless and horrific tragedy. But tonight, we remember the light these four Vandals brought into our lives, a light that will continue to shine in the years to come. On behalf of the student body, stay strong, be with those you love, and remember the light these four individuals brought into the world. Together, our Vandal family will carry on as we remember the extraordinary impact Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie had on our community. Thank you all for attending tonight, and I wish you all safe travels home. Good night, Vandals.
Just give me something to carry. Give me something to carry.